welcome to this explainer. I'm really thrilled you're joining me today because we're going to look at something that, quite frankly, can completely change how you experience your own energy. We're going to talk about a concept that sits right at the fascinating intersection of physics, biology, and your daily life. And we're going to keep this warm, honest, and totally grounded. The feeling I want you to walk away with today is not pressure. This is absolutely not another task for your to-do list. The goal here is relief. Today, we're going to figure out how to get your signal clean. So let's dive right in. To understand what's going on inside of you, we actually first need to look at something outside of you. Think about noise-canceling headphones for a second. Almost all of us have felt that sudden, almost eerie drop into total silence the second you turn them on. But how do they actually work? I mean, they don't block sound by putting some thick physical wall between your ear and the airplane engine, right? Instead, they actively listen to the noise around you, and then they produce the exact opposite wave. And when those two waves meet, they cancel each other out. That's the physics of silence. Silence is literally being built out of two sounds. And this brilliantly illustrates a fundamental principle called interference. Now, we're going to make a sharp turn here, because that interference, it isn't just happening in your headphones. It is happening right inside you. When your thoughts, your feelings, and your physical body are all sending out different waves, they cancel each other out in the exact same way. You end up putting out this enormous amount of energy, but you're just hearing silence. Think about it. Have you ever worked incredibly hard, like really pushed, grinded, poured hours into a project, and watched absolutely nothing move? I want you to know right now, that is not a motivation problem. That is a physics problem, and it actually has a name.
Section 1. What coherence actually is. Let's look at the clean visual physics of this, because it perfectly explains why working hard sometimes yields absolutely zero momentum. Every single wave has a rhythm, and the way those rhythms interact decides everything about your outcome. Notice the two options we have. On the one side, we have waves that are in phase. When two waves are perfectly aligned, meaning peak meets peak and trough meets trough, they amplify each other. That's constructive interference. The signal just gets bigger, stronger, and more powerful. But look at the flip side. When waves are out of phase, a peak meets a trough. They cancel each other out. Destructive interference. The crucial point you have to remember here is that the energy doesn't just disappear, it actively neutralizes itself. You are spending the exact same amount of energy in both scenarios, but you get two completely different outcomes decided entirely by whether or not those waves agree.
And that brings us to the formal definition. Coherence is a state of alignment where waves are in phase. Incoherence is interference. So when you're stuck, when you are totally exhausted but somehow going nowhere, you are likely in a state of incoherence. Your waves are out of phase, you're actually actively neutralizing your own effort.
Section 2. Your body proof it.
So this builds from a really cool physical metaphor into a measurable biological reality. Because this isn't just some nice philosophical idea, it is observable science. The HeartMath Institute has actually spent decades researching this exact phenomenon inside the human body. And what their research shows is that when the heart settles into a coherent rhythm, incredible things start happening. Your brain literally functions better, which sharpens your decision-making. Your immune system gets stronger. And honestly, this is the wildest part. The electromagnetic field that your body naturally produces becomes highly ordered and literally reaches farther outward. You are, quite literally and measurably, broadcasting a completely different signal when your internal systems are aligned. To really picture this, compare a light bulb to a laser. A light bulb and a laser can actually hold the exact same amount of power. But the light bulb scatters its light in every single direction just to illuminate a room. The laser takes that exact same energy, but it's aligned, it's in phase. And because of that coherence, a laser can cut right through solid steel. A coherent you isn't working any harder than a scattered you. It's the exact same amount of energy. It's just organized.
Section 3. The three-way conversation. So, how does this biological science play out in your everyday lived experience? Well, let's bring it home to the internal conversation we are all having all the time. Inside of you, there is a constant, ongoing three-way conversation between your head, your heart, and your gut. Incoherence shows up when these three parts are saying completely different things. It's when your head is saying, yes, absolutely, take this opportunity, but your gut quietly feels completely unworthy of it. Or maybe you take an action that makes total logical sense on paper, but it entirely contradicts what you truly value in your heart. That right there is internal interference.
And let me tell you, internal interference is incredibly expensive. It drains energy that you simply cannot account for. You know the feeling? You sleep 8 hours, you eat well, but you still wake up completely exhausted. because your internal systems are just fighting each other. Now, here is the honest reframe, and I want you to really hear this part. Coherence is not about having everything all figured out. It's definitely not about feeling falsely positive all the time. It is simply about getting those three parts, your head, your heart, and your gut, to agree on the very next move.
Section 4. Incoherence in real life. Let's actually map this out onto some highly specific, really recognizable scenarios to see exactly how incoherence leaks out into our actions. Think about the endless tweaking of an offer or a project that you just never quite launch. You know the one. That isn't perfectionism. More often than not, that is your head saying, this is good, while your gut says, I don't fully believe in this yet. That constant tinkering, it's just the interference made visible. Or what about the dreaded price wobble? You state your price on a client call, but your voice shakes and you immediately start apologizing for it. Your head knows the market rate, but your heart fears rejection. That wobble is incoherence leaking out in real time, and I promise you, the client feels it before you've even finished the sentence. Then there's that pending decision that's just been sitting on your desk for 3 weeks. Usually, it's not that you're missing data. It's that what you think you should do and what you genuinely feel you want to do are totally out of phase. And remember, no amount of new data is ever going to fix a phase problem. And to ground this even further, it's the exact same physics when you're off the clock. Have you ever said yes to a fun evening out with friends, but everything inside you was screaming to just stay home on the couch? You go, you put a smile on, but you come home feeling oddly, deeply exhausted by something that was supposed to be fun. It's the same thing. The massive drain on your energy was the internal disagreement. It wasn't the activity itself. That resentful yes is your energy actively canceling itself out. So the absolutely crucial takeaway is this. When something you are trying to create just will not land, before you add more effort, check the signal. Stop pushing so hard. Often, the work isn't the problem at all. The interference is. Section 5. A clear signal.
Okay, so we've covered the physics, we've looked at the biology, and we've seen it in our daily lives. So what do we actually do about it? Here is the absolute relief in this entire concept. You don't have to fix it. You literally just have to notice it. The sheer act of observation is your greatest tool here. Because the very moment you hear that internal disagreement, you can stop pouring massive amounts of energy into something that is just quietly canceling itself out. You can pause. You acknowledge the incoherence. Because remember, coherence isn't about perfection. It is simply about getting a clear, unified signal.
So, I'm going to leave you with the only question that matters for this week. It takes exactly 10 seconds to ask. Regarding the thing sitting right in front of you today, head, heart, gut, right now, are they saying the same thing? This week, do not pressure yourself to be perfect. Just get honest about your signal. Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer, and I'll catch you next time.